So hiya and welcome to step one, or part one proper, in our 5-part online spring cleanup. So today is very much the crux or the base for this entire program, and it's all about habits, because we are all creatures of habits. So if you just cast your mind back, or just think right now, what are some of your habits? What time do you get up? What do you do in the morning? Do you go to work? What is your habitual day? On a Wednesday night, do you go to a gym class? On a Sunday morning, do you go to church? On a Friday evening, do you go to the pub? All of these things are habits that we have. Some habits are good, and some habits are bad. What decides or determines whether it's a good or a bad habit is our perception of it. So we could all say that going to the gym is a good habit. Going to the gym is a good habit and fit and healthy. Now, if I then go to the gym 3 times a day, and as a result of going to the gym 3 times a day, I get overexhausted, I neglect my work, I ignore my family, all of a sudden we could say that habit is not a good habit. We all heard or have heard of those cases when your local friendly neighbourhood drug dealer, or drug user rather, walks down the street, smashes a car window, reaches in, nicks a sat nav, they get caught, they're in court, wasn't my fault, Your Honour, I've got a habit. And so they are in a bad habit, or what we would consider a bad habit. So habits go across the board. And what determines a good habit or a bad habit is our perception of them and how they relate to our goals. Now, I'm going to show you a little picture. So this fella is the devil. Live long and prosper. He's got that kind of thing going on. And don't worry if you haven't got this picture or you're not a big fan of it. I'm just using it as a visual aid, and it's in the worksheet. But you'll notice that this guy, the devil, has got 2 people underneath. There we go. Come back here, and they are chained to the devil. And what the devil actually represents is our habits, or in this case, actually addictions, which is quite a strong word of. Or a strong way of describing habits. Now those chains are actually quite loose, so they can be taken off and got rid of. And that's the truth. We are all chained or slaves to our habits of our choosing. But, this is the key, how do we change our habits? Because strong will isn't always enough. So what we need to do is we need to trump the habit. So a bad habit needs to be trumped with a good habit, or rather one habit needs to be trumped with another habit. So what we perceive as a bad habit needs to be trumped with what we perceive as a good habit. And remember, whatever our goals and our aims are, that's what our habits need to be in line with. So for example, if my habit is to lose a couple of kilos, yet I'm going off to the biscuit tin every 5 minutes, I would say that's a habit that's not in line with what my goals are or what my aims are. So if I can change from going to the biscuit tin to going to the fruit bowl, then all of a sudden I've got a new habit, and that new habit is more in line with my weight loss goal. Now, what other habits or what other goals might we have? So, if I've got a credit card bill, and yet I've got a spending habit and whacking things on that credit card bill, I've got to find a way of trumping it. Now, I'm not doing all the work for you, I'm just showing you how it can be done. So one of the things I could do is I could cut that credit card up, and then I have to use a debit card instead, or I have to use cash, or I go without. So identify what habits we've got, and are they in line with what our goals are? So by first off recognising or looking at what our goals are and how we habitually have got to that point where we need to set some new goals. Sounds like a lot, but the whole point this week in this step is to spend 30 minutes a day, so that's a habit we're going to get into, of going over what our habits are and looking at how we can trump them. Now, it takes 21 days to formulate some new habits, And the old habits are always going to be just out of there, just out of the corner of the screen. Oh, there they are coming back in. So I need to keep my good habits close to me and keep those old habits at bay. So today and for the rest of this week, think about what your goals are, what it is that you want to succeed with, and what habits you've got at the minute, and what habits you need to cultivate. Don't worry, it will come. It would need a little bit of awareness. And that's the whole point. We're bringing into our field of consciousness something that we can then seep into our subconscious that's going to help us. Well, hang on a minute, what's this? Conscious, subconscious, Well, broadly speaking, we've got 3 levels of consciousness. We've got unconscious, we've got conscious, and then we've got our subconscious. And our subconscious is that sleepy kind of brain, which means we habitually do things. So I'm going to use driving as an example. So when I was 14, driving existed. I can enter traffic right now, actually. But out in the world was driving. People could drive, it existed. But I didn't care about it because I was 14, didn't matter. When I turned to 17, then all of a sudden I took the idea of driving right into my conscious awareness. I learned how to drive. I became a driver. So what I'd done is I'd taken something that existed over there and I brought it right into my conscious field. Now, some years later, I can get into a car and I think to myself, I need to get to work. So I jump in the car and I get to work and I know that I've got there safely. Everyone else was safe and I've got there quite happily. But I've not been massively conscious of what I'm doing. My subconscious has just allowed me to get there. I'm still aware, but it's not right in front of my face. It's something I naturally do. I habitually get in the car, put my seatbelt on, look in the mirror, signal, maneuver, all of that stuff. So something that exists comes into our conscious field and then it seeps into our subconscious. And that's true of all of our habits. So if we want to take a good habit from that field of unconsciousness, we need to bring it into our conscious field and then let it seep into that subconscious. So it all starts with that conscious awareness of what we're doing. Right, give it a try. So think over your habits. What habits have you got? Are they in line with or not in line with what our goals and objectives are? See you later.